It is overtime here again at Old Favorite Friday, talking about incredible classic beers and giving them the love and respect they so rightfully deserve. And this is a beer that I cannot believe I have not featured yet, because this is a beer that means a lot to me in my beer journey. And that's the Franziskaner Weissbier. This is a Hefeweizen, German wheat beer, that if you were making this beer correctly, you're going to pick up these notes kind of across the board of like clove, banana, bubblegum. Those are kind of the three flavors that most people, when they have a Hefeweizen, that they identify with. And I think some of those flavors kind of go too over the top. These flavors come from the yeast, mostly during fermentation. And when you let the yeast kind of run wild, it can dominate the flavor. It can be all you taste. You also have the fact that a lot of brewers kind of don't attenuate their beer well enough, leaving them a little bit too sweet. And if you add like cloying sweetness with kind of a one-dimensional bubblegum, banana, clove flavor, you have beers that sometimes can turn people off. And people might say, oh, well, I tried to have a Weizen and I didn't like it. Now, listen, you might not like any of those flavors. I know plenty of people that have tried great versions of those beers and don't particularly like a Hefeweizen. But I think a lot of times people get turned off by the wrong beer. They think that that represents the whole style, when something like this, which is a classic German beer, I mean, this is made by the Spaten Brewery that has been around since like the 1300s. This beer itself has been around since 1964. This is a beer that knows how to do that well. There is a little hint of sweetness to this, but it kind of finishes dry. Excuse me. It finishes dry and really, really drinkable. And along with those kind of bubblegum, banana, and clove flavors, you're also getting these like little whispers of citrus, the bready malt, and then also maybe a little vanilla or even caramel. So this beer becomes very drinkable because it finishes dry, and becomes very complex because it's not just those kind of paint by numbers flavors that people are usually thinking that a Hefeweizen is supposed to be. This is a beer that I stumbled upon when I was still drinking like Killian's Irish Red, thinking that I was like really cool because I wasn't drinking Budweiser. And it's just a kind of beer where you try it for the first time and you cannot believe that beer actually tastes like this. You can't believe that these kind of flavors can come out of a beer. And then when I found out that, oh my, why does this beer taste like banana? Did they put banana in it? No, it comes from the fermentation and the yeast strain. It blew my mind. It really opened up the world to me about what else was out there. What else could I find in classic European beers? What else could I find in American beer? And I think I'm not unique in that situation. I think so many people have kind of got started on their journey through Belgian style ales, through German style beers like this, that really tasted like nothing else they've ever tried before. So this is just a really, really important beer for me. They also do a Dunkel Weiss beer, which is a Dunkelweizen, which is, I love it even more than this beer. Unfortunately, I can't get it down here in South Florida. It's not around anymore. It used to be one of my go-tos. My favorite place is Coffee District in Delray. Used to have it on draft all the time. I'd have one every single time I went in. But once again, I can't get my hands on it. If I ever do, it will be featured on Old Favorite Friday right away. But this is a close second. This is not a long distant bronze medal winner. This is still a fantastic version of a Hefeweizen. It's readily available for many of us, so you can kind of get your hands on this. And it's just really, really good. If you haven't had this beer in a while, I highly recommend you go pick it up. If you've been hesitant on Belgian style wheat beers, or I'm sorry, German style wheat beers, but even Belgian style wheat beers, if you've been hesitant on wheat beers at all because you think they're all one dimensional and too sweet, maybe you just haven't tried the right one yet. So this is a good place to start if you're looking to either try those again or get into this style of beer. And it also is really, really versatile. You'd think with some of those flavors, like clove and banana, you might need to get really, really specific with cuisine. And you can do the classic German style, sausages, mustard, pretzel. If you type this into a Google search, what food would go well with this beer? That's what it's going to kick out. And those are fantastic. Those are foods that are eaten with this beer all the time. But I think that you can do a lot of different things with this. One of the dishes I made just the other week was I did a fettuccine pasta with like a pistachio pesto and lemon with shrimp. And I think those flavors would go really, really well together. I think the pistachio pesto with the nuttiness and the herbiness would give a contrast flavor to this. The lemon would really bring out some of the subtle citrus fruit flavors, and you'd also have a little bit of sweetness in that pillowy, soft mouthfeel to kind of go against that acidity. I think it'd be fantastic. I think it would really work well. It's something that I have to do again and try together to see if I'm right. Another thing you could do is go with something like a chorizo taco, because a chorizo, the fattiness, the spiciness, this soft, supple beer will balance out some of that spiciness and also add something completely different to it. It's adding that banana and that clove, bringing out some of the subtle spices in the sausage. So these are two different, very wildly different kinds of cuisine. One Italian, one Mexican taco, and could work really well with a German beer. So a lot of different things you can do with this beer. It is beautiful on its own. You can't go wrong. If you can go pick this up, please do. Guys, please keep the suggestions coming in. We really enjoy your suggestions for Old Favorite Friday. We'd love for you to give us a like and a subscribe on this so you can keep seeing these videos every single week. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.